Hello, it's Chris and Brian here from Resolve Technology. And Chris wants to talk about a ticket we had recently. From time to time, we still have clients that use older Microsoft Access databases. And the problem with Microsoft Access sometimes is the code can get a little bit behind, or a control doesn't work, like an ActiveX control, a macro, or whatever. So sometimes we have to get involved and be on certain versions of Microsoft Access in order for the database to work properly. Chris is going to talk about a situation that might be affecting you. We're recording this on September 6, 2024. There is supposed to be some sort of update fix for this coming out next week, but so this may be a moot point for some of you if you did run into this problem. But if you stumble across it, Chris is going to give you some potential temporary fixes or maybe long-term fixes for this problem. Can you describe the problem, Chris, first?
Yeah, so if you have an Access database, say I open an Access database file and it launches a batch script or some program I'm using built out of Access, which it doesn't launch, or it's hung up. They close out for the day, they come in the morning, it's hung up and it doesn't launch when they go to open it. You gotta temporarily either kill the task, restart the workstation. The issue is with the current release channel of the Office desktop apps. There's multiple solutions people have thrown out there. I think the one we tried first is when you come into options here and you go to Trust Center settings and then trusted locations, allow trusted locations not recommended, and make sure that the UNC path, server one, counting, estimates, make sure that path and the subfolders are in there. They said that might make it easier, less likely to happen. We didn't see that. Generally, if you have any kind of Access program or Access database file you're accessing over the network, you're going to want to have it as a trusted location anyways. And we generally do that with the use of a group policy, as long as they have the infrastructure. But the only worthwhile solution that we saw is we discussed it with the developer of one of their apps that are on Access. And just for the people it's happening to, you can go in here to, or not options, you can click on account, and you can do this from Word, but you disable update. So if I make this full screen, you choose disable update.
Chris, can I stop you for a second? So what the error message that they would see on the screen? Is it just that the Access itself gets hung up and then you have to force close Access?
That, or there's like a 38, let me pull it up here, the ticket. Let me see if I can get it real quick.
Just give me a basic idea of what the message says. So your Microsoft Access could get hung up, and then you have to go into the task manager and click end task and then just reopen it. That's one.
Yeah. That was one of the ones we saw. The other one was, runtime error 3048, cannot open any databases. That was the specific error message another user saw.
Okay, runtime error 48. And we'll try to link to the article that Chris was showing on the screen, and it gives you some options.
But before doing any of this, I checked the version. So when you go file, account, you'll see right here, 2408, current channel. If I go into the admin center, right, I can go under tenant settings, and you could change the ring to the preview release ring. It's not a beta build preview release, is like days, if not a week away from being on the current channel. So you might get some newer hot fixes earlier. The problem is it can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours for all the installs of Office you have to recognize that and change to that channel. So it's generally easier to just work on it on a case-by-case basis, where you go into the machine with the people who have issues, you disable updates here. I'm not going to go through with it. And then you're going to also run these commands. Now, you can go the update history and find what build you need. I know I need like 2407, right? So I could just copy the build ID, and I'd run these commands.
When you run that command, what does it do?
It brings up like the Office installer. So the first one is navigating. This CD is change directories. So that's navigating to the program files, common files, Microsoft shared, click to run, like the Microsoft 365 Office apps installer. This one is running a specific exe that statically updates it to a specified version, or rolls back to a specified
Okay, and then you put your version in there. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like going into add remove programs and modifying an install. But we're specifying, hey, we're using that feature. You can also do, if you want to spend a lot of time, you could do it with ODT, the Office deployment tool and then push it out that way, or roll back via the MSI version. So doing it this way would be, like I said, add or remove, change your update channel. That's mostly for home users, I think, though, because if you're in Microsoft 365, I believe there is let's sign in real quick. I'll go there. I was going to go there earlier, but there's a specific place you can go to change your update. They call it update ring. So what build, beta, alpha, release, preview is like the imminent new bug fixes, security hot fixes that are soon to be released within a week, I do believe. So when we come into the admin center here, admin.microsoft.com, I click see all, settings, org settings, and then somewhere in here, Microsoft app installs, I think, or not office scripts.
Let's do this, Chris.
Release preferences, organization
okay.
profile, release.
I was going to say, does it show it in the article? Because we're going to try to include the link to the article.
No, this is an additional way you can do it. The article doesn't mention.
Okay, just stop there for a second. So if you go onto org settings, release preferences, what Chris is saying is you can slow down your release updates. So you're not on the latest and greatest. You need to go in and look at your settings and adjust accordingly.
Yeah, you might go on like twice annual, biannual update cycle, especially those people that have line of business software using 32-bit Excel macros and add-ins. The semi-annual release channel, and then they probably avoided this bug entirely if they were on that update channel.
So there's always a balance, as a reminder, between security and keeping your stuff up to date and keeping these legacy applications built in Microsoft Access so that they still work. So with this sort of thing, in this client case, they're dependent on this database. So we're looking at a couple different options here as far as what we're going to do. All right, Chris, we'll wrap it there. Was there anything that major? We'll include the link, but was there anything else major that you wanted to point out, or is that good?
I don't have the link. I'll try to get it by the time this video is posted, but I believe the update is in this week's Patch Tuesday, which is following on the 10th. September 10th update will have Office apps updated to fix this issue.
All right, super. Hey, thanks for bringing us. I hope this helps somebody with you still using I know there's not a lot out there, but there still are a few people using Microsoft Access. Hopefully this helps. Thanks a lot, Chris.
All right, bye.